What does AI do for retail, at least in the near term? I mean, consumer preferences are changing. The way we shop, the way we buy is changing. What does AI do near term?
Well, timing is very important. So the wording of your question is critical. In the near term, mostly it's efficiency type gains. In the long term, it's totally revolutionary. It reminds me of when the internet started, if I could date myself a little bit, where everyone kept saying, gee, I don't see much change. And now there isn't a soul alive who doesn't say that the internet hasn't revolutionized retailing. So the same thing's going to happen here. Right now, people are using it for back office automation to make sure staffing models are right, kind of stuff like that. But as we look to the future, and it's going to happen a lot faster than people can imagine once it's all over. We're talking 3 to 5 year type of time horizon. It's going to change everything. So you start with the top line, which is where you really make all the money. AI is going to help us predict what's going to sell and what's not going to sell, and it's even going to help design those products. So if you can imagine a store that's in stock all the time on what people want to buy, and some of it was actually designed by AI. And so that's going to be fantastic. Secondly, the biggest problem in retail, the biggest expense, is all the markdowns we take. Because we buy a bunch of product that we think people are going to want, and it turns out they don't want everything we think is so beautiful. With AI, we're going to identify the losers faster and either never even make the losing product, or once it's made, we're going to cut it off fast and not have all those markdowns.
All right, I want to lean on this one because last week we talked about retailers reducing their inventory quite a bit. I mean, I think Amazon reduced their inventory by 9% year over year, low single digits for both Walmart and Target. This is the one thing I can't figure out, and please explain this one to me. When it comes to inventory, one of the issues is for e-commerce, you just need more stuff because I know when I buy something, I buy it in a large and an extra large. And I might like the large, but I still send back the extra large, and then you're stuck with it, and then sometimes it gets marked down. How do you fix just the consumer habits of buying a bunch of things online because we know we can return them, and also the fact that you can't predict what people are going to like, and you can't predict how things are going to fit on people's bodies differently, which is really where a lot of these inventory issues are coming up?
Well, it's a great question. The answer is AI can do that.
How?
And the way they can do it is because, well, we're going to have your purchase history, and we're going to use that, and we're going to say, this is your size.
But I'm still going to buy a large and an extra large, Jerry. I'm still going to buy them and try them both on and then just walk one back to the store.
You might, but most people are going to want what fits them, and we're going to know what fits you before you even buy it. And then when you buy it, we're going to go, Frank, this is the one for you. We're going to pick it out, and we're going to send that one to you and say, this is going to be perfect for you. And you're going to be satisfied enough of the time that's going to be okay for you. Now, for the serial abusers, the people that do like crazy stuff, like some people buy like, 20 different styles and colors, we may not want you anymore as a customer. And when you go to buy that particular type of product or that category, it may say, guess what, we're out of stock or something like that, or it's not available for you. It won't be mean about it. It's going to do it behind the scenes. You're not even going to know it. A big part of the AI benefits can be reducing returns in general because we're going to know what's going to work for you and make sure that's what we push towards you. Also, it's going to reduce people who are outright fraudsters. There's huge increase in fraud, particularly on the internet, and this is going to identify people who are really fraud versus the people who are just buying a lot that day. So it's going to be very effective in this regard.
One of the big things when it comes to AI is productivity. Where's the productivity gains when we're talking about retail? I mean, don't you still need people in the stores just for the customer service? I know sometimes when I go to the store, I don't want anybody to really bother me, but other times I do want some help and maybe even some advice on what matches or what fits right.
Again, you're right, but it's the optimization that's going to make all the difference. So think of your staffing models. They're based on history of who came into the store, when, all the rest of it. Now, when you go from store to store, and I've been to thousands and thousands of stores, sometimes you walk in there and it's full of staff and there's no customers. Other times it's full of customers and there's long lines out the door. With AI, we're going to be able to model that a whole lot better and get the staffing right so that you don't have to worry about the time. So that's going to be huge.
All right, so
I'm like a kid in the candy store on efficiency stuff.
Jerry, I can tell you're like a kid in a Toys R Us. That's what you're really like. So you mentioned the internet. We saw a bust when it came to the internet. Is there any similar pattern here when it comes to AI and retail? Any potential for that here?
For a bust, you said? No, I don't think so. No.
No?
Part of it is, no, I don't believe so at all. Because just like, you say a bust when it came to the internet. What busted, if you choose that, use the use of that as a verb, on the internet is that people invested in anything having to do with the internet. They weren't smart. I hope people are a little smarter about this time. Who knows? The question is, there's two different winners, if you will, in AI, just like there were in the internet. There's the arms merchants. You know, think of people like Google, who was a winner from the beginning and a winner to this day, right? And then there are people using the internet. And I think people got confused about who were going to be the winners in each category. They thought, well, anyone who uses the internet must be successful. So there were retailers like Pets.com or eToys or whatever. And oh, they're internet retailers.